This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom is streaming live every day at noon to give an update on the coronavirus crisis here in our state. Now, today he will be talking about the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we will bring him to you as soon as he becomes available. Now, in the meantime, to the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County, there are now 11 new cases, and also Public Health reports that they have more specific data on the coronavirus here. Now it stands at 1,026 confirmed cases. Most of those infected have recovered. Now 8 people have died. 5 have died in the past 2 weeks. 7,300 tests have come back negative, and the department is waiting on results for 3,800 others. Now, the department is now releasing sex and race information. According to data released, 52% of those infected are males and 47% are females. Also in that data, over 65% of those who have tested positive are Hispanic. Now, the next largest group is at 18%. That is white people. Now, Public Health also has broken down the numbers of cases by zip code, and you can find the full data board on Kern County Public Health website. Well, new free testing is opening up today across Kern County. The county of Kern announced the opening of 4 COVID-19 testing sites in Kern County that will now be free to the public. One of those new test sites is coming to East Bakersfield. Now, the site, which will go live on Wednesday, will be located in Oildale at the north of the River Veterans Hall. Appointments for all these facilities can be made online on the County of Kern and Kern County Public Health website. A photo ID is required to receive the test, and patients must be symptomatic in at least one of the 5 categories listed by the CDC. Asymptomatic healthcare workers will also be accepted. And Kern County is one step closer to reopening. Public Health has announced it will no longer enforce the governor's stay-at-home orders. Now, what does that mean? Back on April 2nd, Public Health issued an order saying the county will enforce the statewide order by issuing fines, jail time, or both to non-essential businesses that decided to stay open in violation of the governor's mandate. This weekend, the department rescinded that order. In a statement, Public Health said, "We want businesses to open safely and responsibly and as quickly as possible when the governor lifts or modifies his orders." Now, to be clear, the governor's orders remain in place, and you are still asked to follow social distancing guidelines until Governor Gavin Newsom officially modifies them.
In a nutshell, I think what the governor's order was attempting to do was to flatten the curve, the famous curve. I think we've been successful doing that here locally. We have very, very few people in the hospital. We have more people now that have recovered from COVID-19, thankfully, that are isolating at home. But here's a reminder that the governor's order is still in effect, but how it will be enforced, we're not so sure.
Well, this weekend, hundreds of visitors packed the Lake Isabella area seeking relief from the hot weather. Now, this is what it looked like yesterday. You may remember it looked similar last weekend with visitors getting out to cool off. We spoke to local business owners in the Lake Isabella area, and most of them say despite the governor's stay-at-home order, they're getting an influx of business and they don't believe it's putting their safety at risk.
To be honest with you, I as long as they are taking precautions like masks, gloves, staying 6 feet away from other people, I don't see a problem with it. We've had people come in with and without masks, and we've been fine.
Well, one person is dead after a crash this morning in southeast Bakersfield. It happened near the corner of Bear Mountain Boulevard in South Fairfax Road. CHP says 3 cars crashed just after 5 o'clock this morning. Troopers say a Lexus was driving at a high speed and failed to stop at the intersection when it was hit by a Mini Cooper. The driver of that Lexus died. CHP encourages everyone to be mindful in the roadways, especially during those morning early hours.
We're not sure if any drugs or alcohol played a factor in this crash, but as always, we still have people that are getting up early in the morning and going to work, and so we want to caution everyone to please pay attention to what's going on. Drive at a speed that's safe for roadway conditions. Obey the speed limits. Make sure that you stop at the posted stop signs because out here it's pretty busy traffic commute at 5 o'clock in the morning, and so make sure that you stop at those posted stop signs.
Now, nobody else was hurt in that crash. This is the same area where another deadly crash happened about a week ago. And a traffic collision leaves one with minor injuries in southeast Bakersfield. This morning, California Highway Patrol responded to a crash involving a box truck and another truck. According to CHP, the driver of the pickup truck ran a stop sign, broadsiding the box truck. That box truck was carrying cacti and tipped over, blocking the roadway. The driver of the pickup truck sustained minor injuries. And a traffic alert for you. Starting tonight, a stretch of Highway 99 will be closed down in both directions for construction. Northbound and southbound lanes of the highway will close between Stockdale Highway and Ming Avenue from 11 o'clock tonight until about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. The ramp from Highway 58 into the 99 will also close down. Crews are putting concrete on the separation bridge between the two highways. Now, drivers can use Union Avenue as a detour. Well, could high school graduations resume before the end of the school year? Happening today, the Kern High School District will hold its Board of Trustees meeting. It will take place online because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, today, the board will decide whether to move forward with graduation ceremonies. That's according to the agenda on the school district's website. Also on the agenda, public hearing on the construction of a new comprehensive high school in southwest Bakersfield and a public hearing on the construction of a proposed high school property near Fairfax Road and East Wilson Road. And also happening today, registration begins for all schools in the Greenfield Union School District, but it will look a little different this year. That's because they're switching to online registration only. You can register online using any device, including your phone. Now, you can take photos of any documents you need, like birth certificates or immunization records, and upload them to the system. Once parents enroll, the school will contact parents and make an appointment for them to come to the office and complete those final steps. Now, you can find all of this information on our website, kget.com. And starting today, the Greenfield Union School District says it's changing its meal service times in order to reduce the time family and employees are exposed to the outdoor heat. The district will offer free meals for kids between 2 and 18 years old between 10 and 11:30 a.m. Monday through Thursday. Now, for a full list of school campuses distributing meals, visit our website, kget.com. And today, the Kern Economic Development Corporation is holding a virtual fireside chat to discuss the impact of COVID-19 on the local economy. CSUB economists will talk about the state of our economy in Kern County and how soon we can expect to return to the same employment levels we had before the coronavirus pandemic. Now, that is happening today at 2 p.m., and we will be live streaming it on our KGET Facebook page. Well, now to something you can do to help out. Local groups are asking for donations today for low-income and homebound seniors. The Board of Realtors teamed up with Christian Real Estate Fellowship, Christmas for Seniors, and City Serve for the drive. They're collecting non-perishable foods, toiletries, and other non-perishable foods and necessities that seniors are going without. You can drop those items off every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1431 L Street.
Welcome back. It is Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Temperatures are nice. It's beautiful outside right now. Made my way on the back patio. We got a light breeze out here. You couldn't ask for a better start to our Monday afternoon. Let's take a look at temperatures right now and show you what we're looking at. And Bakersfield sitting at 74, 73 in Delano, 73 out in Buttonwillow, and for the mountains, 60s to lower 70s, 66 for Tehachapi right now. Satellite and radar showing you the clear skies. No changes on that front. And temperatures today, right near 74 in Sacramento, 85 in Fresno, and near 80 in Los Angeles, mid-70s out of San Diego. Vegas in the 80s, and we're under 100 for Phoenix, Arizona, at 97 this afternoon. High pressure sits just offshore, and we've got another system developing out of the northwest, and that'll bring some rain their direction. We are going to warm up here the next few days, but we're going to see no rain, everything heading up to the north. Now, we are going to track a system by the end of the weekend that'll be just to the west of us. Models are suggesting this will again position itself more northerly and not near Kern County. But there is a weak disturbance on Wednesday as well that will bring our temperatures down slightly. 83 today in Bakersfield, 84 in Delano, 80 in Taft. So relatively comfortable, kind of where we were yesterday. Sunny skies and a little bit of a breeze into the mountains. 67 in Frazier Park, 69 in Tehachapi with 70s for Lake Isabella and Kernville. 82 in Weldon. And for the desert today, looking sunny. We'll look for a northwest wind, 10 to 15, and a high of 82 in Mojave. Here's your extended forecast. A little warm up tomorrow with 87, 85 on Wednesday. So just a degree or two drop on Wednesday, but then right back up as that ridge rebuilds back in Thursday through the weekend with 90s. We'll look for partly cloudy skies Saturday and Sunday. And then for the mountains, also warming up in the mid-70s on Tuesday. A little cool down Wednesday, but then right back up into the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and also a few clouds Saturday, Sunday for you as well. And then as we take a look at the Kern River Valley forecast, we will be in the 80s tomorrow with 84, 82 on Wednesday, and then we're inching ourselves closer to the 90-degree mark by Friday, Saturday, and then down a few degrees on Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, do expect a few clouds as well. But overall, on this Monday, it is a beautiful start to the afternoon. Again, we've got clear skies, a light breeze here in my backyard in the southwest, so really, you can't beat it. I hope you have a great day as well. Nicole, we're going to send it back over to you.
Thanks, Kevin, for that. Well, there's now a new website to address the mental and emotional health challenges created by the global coronavirus pandemic. The Pandemic Crisis Services Coalition website aims to help connect those in need with appropriate mental health resources. Until now, there hasn't been a comprehensive searchable database, making it harder for people to find help quickly. The new site's database is searchable by state, contact method, type of support needed, and categories. Topics include anxiety, substance or domestic abuse, depression, and more. The PCSRC website also has articles to aid in coping with the impact of the pandemic, as well as information tailored to frontline workers. It partners with groups like the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the Trevor Project, and the Disaster Distress Helpline. And scientists, health officials, and even President Trump all have different ideas about the world will have a coronavirus vaccine. Now, in some cases, the timelines are in direct conflict with one another. CNN senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen explains why.
Sunday night, President Trump was quite sure about the prospect of a vaccine against COVID-19.
We are very confident that we're going to have a vaccine at the end of the year. By the end of the year, have a vaccine.
But not everyone seems so sure. Dr. Deborah Birx, coordinator of the White House coronavirus response, was cautious Sunday about whether a vaccine would be ready by January, saying it depended on the progress of clinical trials.
On paper, it's possible. It's whether we can execute around the globe.
Dr. Anthony Fauci also cautious, saying January is possible, but
what might happen is that people months from now will say, well, you said we were going to have a vaccine in January. I didn't say that. I said we're going to shoot to be able to have one.
And a scientist at the University of Oxford had to walk back a statement his colleague made that she was 80% confident the Oxford vaccine would work.
I certainly wouldn't put the possibility at 80%. That's a pretty big number.
While the world waits for a vaccine, several U.S. teams at the company Regeneron, for example, and at Vanderbilt University are working on a treatment for people infected with COVID-19 that could come along faster. It's called a monoclonal antibody. They hope to start studies in the coming months. People who've survived COVID-19 develop antibodies to the virus. Scientists take the most powerful antibodies and synthesize them in a lab and give them as a drug to people sick with coronavirus. And for now, coronavirus patients have remdesivir, the first drug that's been shown to have an impact against coronavirus in a clinical trial.
We intend to get that to patients in the early part of this next week, beginning to work with the government, which will determine which cities are most vulnerable.
We don't know if remdesivir saves lives. Early results are inconclusive, but it did shave 4 days off recovery time for hospitalized patients. That's why scientists continue to look for something even better against COVID-19.
Well, today, another local coffee shop says it's reopening its doors, but Cloud9 Coffee Company says things will look a little different at its store. All orderings will be online, and all orders will be dropped off for your curbside or for pickup. Now, if you choose curbside pickup, they will bring your order out to your car. And if you choose pickup, they will set it outside their front door for you. They will have coffee, tea, pastries, and merchandise available. And if that's not enough, another local coffee shop is opening again tomorrow. Dagny's was one of many shops downtown that closed because of the pandemic. On Instagram, the coffee shop says after more than a month, they'll be back tomorrow. But there will be changes. The coffee shop asked customers to wear a mask. They're going to make sure distancing is possible, and they're not accepting cash for now. All right, Governor Gavin Newsom is getting ready to speak. Let's take it over to him and hear what he has to say today.
COVID-19, the disease, and or have been somehow impacted or associated with those that might be. We want to update you on the tracing technology that we're putting into play, some of the training that we'll be advancing, some of the recruitment that we're doing to build a workforce, to build an army so that we can meaningfully modify the stay-at-home order. I want to speak as well today about meaningfully modifying the stay-at-home order, some plans we have to make adjustments later this week, and then we'll talk broadly about a series of updates related to our efforts to contain the virus and moreover to make sure we're prepared for this next phase as we begin to modify the stay-at-home order. But I wanted to also tee up this second point, and that is the movement into the second phase. About a week ago, in fact, it was a week ago today, I said we're weeks, not months away from moving into a second phase. On Friday, I said we're days, not weeks away from announcing that movement into the second phase. So today, we are announcing our efforts to update our stay-at-home guidelines and begin the process of moving into phase 2. That process will begin later this week. On Thursday, the 7th, we will put out the guidelines. If the guidelines are met and modifications are made, then people can start reopening with those modifications in these particular sectors as early as Friday. But again, the modifications, the adaptations need to be in place before we can move into that second phase. But it can begin as early as the end of this week. Here's the phase that we will be moving into later this week. We mentioned phase 2 included an earlier and a later consideration, meaning low risks and moving into a little bit medium to higher risk as we phase into these 4 phases. I know this can sound confusing, but lower risk is, again, the frame around this phase 2. And lower risk, we are defining in the retail sector, and we'll be making adjustments this week in the retail sector for pickups and for all of the associated logistics and manufacturing related to retail. Let me be more precise about what I mean by retail. As early as the end of this week, you will have the capacity as a retailer with the modifications and the guidelines we set forth on Thursday to begin to reopen for pickup clothing, bookstores, music, toys, sporting goods stores, florists with Mother's Day coming up, other sectors, other businesses within that retail sector and the supports and the accessory support on logistics and manufacturing within and around those sectors will be allowed to move forward into this phase 2. We are also allowing, with considerations of additional criteria, the ability for containment plans and protection plans to be put into place in regions and counties throughout the state of California where we recognize there are different conditions and we believe different criteria should be put into place. So we are also announcing today the capacity for these other counties and regions to move further into phase 2 with plans that need to be locally certified, with plans that need to be locally certified by criteria that includes the capacity on testing, the capacity on tracing, their capacity on physical distancing and sanitation, and their capacity to protect the most vulnerable residents in their community, particularly seniors in congregate facilities, those that are incarcerated, those that are homeless, and other individuals. If those criteria can be self-assessed, self-certified by the local health official in concurrence with the county supervisors, can be self-certified, attested to, in concurrence with the local health official and the county supervisor, we will allow additional movement through phase 2. And so that includes, let me be specific, the prospects of restaurants with modifications opening, hospitality more broadly opening again with modification. Not into phase 3 yet, but well into phase 2. Primarily in that restaurant space and other specific capacity. Again, it has to be done in a very thoughtful and judicious way. It's a health-first focus. Indicators have to be maintained, and Dr. Angel will talk about what those indicators look like. Stabilization on rates of hospitalization in ICU or over 14 days or declines, and again, testing and tracking capacity. But one thing I know very well is many of these counties, many of these regions have done already a ton of work in this space, and they're ready to go. And so I have great expectation that you're going to see a lot of these communities with local certification in place. All of those will be made public. All of those have to be done through a process that goes to the California Department of Public Health, where that attestation and that attestment at the local level certification of all those conditions and criteria from a health frame are going to be met.
All right, we just heard the latest from Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, he is talking about modifying those stay-at-home orders. What he said is that starting this week, they're going to update that stay-at-home guidelines and begin the process of moving to phase 2. Now, phase 2 includes reopening some of those retail stores. That includes clothing, bookstores, sports stores, florists. And what they will do is have them have pickup so they can order online and pick up there. And they are counting that as a low risk, so moving to the phase 2. Now that process will begin on Thursday. They will post that online on May 7th. And then from there, what they will do is businesses can start reopening on Friday. Now what Governor Gavin Newsom also mentioned is what they are trying to do is maybe some counties are better prepared than others. And so what they're saying is, for reference, like the Bay Area, they have stricter enforcements, and if they want to stay that way and not follow state guidelines, they can do that. And there are also some counties as well that may have not as many people, may not have as many cases, and they are giving them the ability to reopen and move more into the phase 2 and keep moving so they can open up more broadly, and they will have to get that verified by local health. And that will push them more into that phase 2. But like I said, Governor Gavin Newsom just told us that this week they are going to start cutting back on those stay-at-home orders and move into phase 2. We were in phase 1, and now phase 2 is moving on into opening up California just a little bit. Now you can continue watching what he has to say in his whole live stream on our Facebook page, as well as our website, KGET.com.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.